Magic is a multiplayer trading card game.
I'm very passionate about the game. I think it's one of the most interesting and entertaining game that I played.
It's given me an outlet, more of an outlet than I tend to see some people have.
Anyone can play Magic, and anyone does play Magic. It's just not a thing for one set group of people.
It's certainly changed my life. Yeah, without it, would be far less colourful.
Magic the Gathering is the TCG, which stands for Trading Card Game. It was conceived in 1993. In fact, next year it will be its 25th anniversary. We'll be celebrating 25 years of this TCG, and I believe it is one of the oldest ones, if not the oldest.
Basically, top and bottom of it is a card game. All revolves around the cards. Secondly, mostly the players. So you're collecting cards from packs or from boxes of packs. Even digitally nowadays as well.
It can be played between 2 players and 10, 11, entirely up to you, depending on the size of the game that you want.
So 3 birds, Gwen and Andrew. So only 6?
8. With 1 stone. Wait, with 1 mask of one.
32.
The themes relating around Magic is a lot of, it can be high fantasy, it can be steampunk. The story allows it to develop into a lot of different types of themes.
Yeah, it's about strategy and things like that. Collectible card game in all of its essences. So buy, sell cards, trade cards, play with your friends, all that stuff. Yeah, that's what it is to me.
Well, I guess the majority of the people would look at it like nothing more than a game is, which is partially true. For me, is yes, a game first and foremost, but at the same time is also an excuse, well, just an excuse to like switch off from the rest of the things going on.
Trying to get a hobby and actually find people that also partake in the hobby tends to be difficult, and I'm kind of glad I've got Magic.
Why are you showing it? Very good. What?
And then just discard it again.
Sometimes it's just an excuse to have, I'm going to use the term, some sort of social life without what can be the burden of it. Sometimes all you need is just to interact with other people on any level, but you're not always in the mood to do so. So even just having a game of Magic, even just talking some shit, and even just being around people for that day or that moment is good enough.
So I think the greater appeal to people who play Magic is community. Magic is built around friendship groups. 99% of the time you're playing with people who you know, either through immediate friendship groups or groups you meet on Friday nights at social clubs.
Oh, come on. Why me? Because it's funny. I've done nothing to
Because your tears fuel my happiness. Quite a tight-knit group of friends. Like, we've all known each other quite a long time now. All started with chance meetings in local card game shops. When I first started, it was something that I played in passing. A friend of mine mentioned it, and he had a few cards. And he was, first of all, that caught my eye was the artwork. As I started to take the game a little bit more seriously, and I started to collect more of them, there's advertisements where it was like you could go to things called Friday Night Magic, which was basically like-minded players who play the game themselves. It's more of a casual level, not so much like tournaments and Grand Prix and things like that, but so we all went along and you play games and have fun and you trade cards afterwards, and there's prizes, and it's all about meeting people and sharing the game that you like. And that's sort of how I got into it and why I play it to this day, because it's such a social element.
I started playing Magic about around 4 years ago. A close friend of mine at the time got me introduced. She started playing it and would start telling me things about it, and because she suffered from mental health problems like depression, similar to me, she suggested using it as to kind of help with as a coping mechanism.
Spoilers.
Remember Legacy?
I use Magic to see people who I may not get a chance to see very often, or not it's because we work different schedules, or I live away, or we just don't spend as much time together as we would have done because of Magic, and that is the sort of big driving force in it all. But also because it's fun, you know, it's not a boring game. We don't just sit down and just, you know, concentrate for an hour, 45 minutes, couple hours on cards. We use that as a base to speak about anything from movies, films, chat, general nonsense for, you know, days at a time. And you know, that's really the best part of it.
Yeah. We've all come from different walks of life, but find this like common thing that we just play and enjoy to this day. It doesn't really matter what's going on. Doesn't matter what time of the day it is, weekends, whatever, whenever we're free, we can always just, we always know we can get together and just, what do you want to do? Magic. You know? It's a good sort of like staple in the friendship group. I think brings it all together. It's nice.
You could go. Can't. Why?
I would definitely say Magic has changed my life. Like, one of the, it's like, for my upcoming birthday, I'm actually getting a tattoo dedicated to Magic purely because it's had that sort of deep impact on my life. I can see friends, and it doesn't always have to be about the day that I've had or the week that I've had. It can just be about that game, that like few hours. It's a great escape at that point.
I'm kind of glad to have Magic in my life because aside from a way to distract my mind from depression and things sometimes, it has led me to meet some really genuine people in my life.
I don't think there's anything that I do not like about it. It simply does the trick for me. It gives me the chance to, as I said, take my mind off things, meeting with friends, play a game that I like, keep my brain going. So when I still play decks that I played a million times, I still find the little things that I did not think about. I still find the details that I've missed the first 100 times around, and it's one of the reasons why this never gets old. It's one of the reasons why this is always entertaining, and it will always be entertaining for me.
Magic influences a lot of people in a lot of different ways. For some people it's a job in the way of pro players. For some people it's a way to cope with certain issues. For me it's brought me my best friends.